Hello, my loves. It is Thanksgiving week. That means that we are going to talk strategy for Thanksgiving. It isn't a time for stress. I want this to be a stress-free Thanksgiving for you. I am Christine. This is Lean and Clean with Fitness Chef Christine. We are going to make a great dessert that you can bring with you. But first, I want to talk about how we can make it stress-free. One of the things I hear a lot from ladies is they have to give up their routine during the holidays. So they don't think they have time to work out, which we addressed in last episode. If you missed it, you can check it out, but I'm going to just go through a few things. It's about making incremental, tiny little times where you can work out. So what I suggest is put on a song or two, get some dance in there, get your cardio working, and then take a break, run around, do what you got to do. A little bit later, come back, put a couple songs on, do some supersets. Maybe you're doing some bicep curls and you're doing some tricep kickbacks. Or maybe you're doing some shoulder press and then you're doing some, maybe you're doing some shoulder shrugs and then you're doing some calf raises, whatever that may be. You're doing it for 2 songs. And then maybe you go for a walk for 2 songs and you do some Pilates for 2 songs. And overall, the course of the day, you get all the time in there to get your workout done without all the stress. You could be sitting here cooking and doing your calf raises, right? You got your stuff on the stove and you're just getting it done. You could do your squats right here. You could just squat right down and stand back up. There's always some time to get that stuff in there. So do not stress about it. You don't have to go to the gym to get everything done. All right, second thing. Let's talk about when you're eating, when you're going to someone's house for Thanksgiving. How in the world are you going to stay on track? You have 2 options. You can give yourself permission to eat whatever and enjoy the day, guilt-free, no problem at all. And when the next day rolls around, you just get right back on track. Nothing to worry about. Or if you're like me, a little bit leads to a lot, then you can just manage it this way. I come prepared with my own desserts. I always have what I love to eat so that I don't have to worry. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This year, I'm staying home, so it's not a big deal. And I don't love turkey, so I'm making a prime rib, and my husband's going to smoke a brisket because that's what we love. So you have to eat what you love. Now, I make sourdough bread every single day. I always have it in the works. But it isn't something that I eat every single day. I maybe have it once a week or so. I'm primarily a keto carnivore eater. Every once in a while, I've gotten to the point where I really just take a nibble and I'm done. I don't even need it. For the most part, I bake it and I give it away. But because it is such an easy bread for people to digest. And I would never recommend a way of eating for everybody because everybody has different goals and everybody has different ways. What I do recommend, though, is that you get back to a primal style eating. So eating things that are in season, a big amount of protein and good fats for your body. If I've said it once, I know I say it every single episode, but this is the truth. This is what really has turned my life around. From a child dealing with obesity to all the way through adulthood and finally figuring it out, eat like my grandparents. And then it really clicked and it really helped a great deal. And I learned to love exercise, which is something I really dreaded as a child. Like I was the last person picked on the team because I was so uncoordinated. I did do gymnastics, but even that I wasn't great. I just did it for something to do, to be busy. So the other thing I always say is, idle hands are the devil's workshop. So if I don't have something in my hands and I get nervous, I'm going to be popping food in my mouth, right? So always have something in your hands. I always have my water. This is a QT cup that I use for water. It's because it's light. I have all these water bottles, but when they're heavy, I just don't like to carry them around. So I get this styrofoam cup and I reuse it over and over again, with different straws, of course. But having your water nearby is just a fantastic thing. Now, I usually put some flavored tea bags in there, no sugar obviously, but just to give my water a little bit of extra flavor, so that's always good. You always have some flavor in your mouth and you've got something to keep your hands busy. If you're like me and you talk with your hands, having water in one hand and another hand free to, get your point across is a good thing. It's directing an orchestra. Anyhow, so that's one of my favorite tips is always have your water nearby so you're always have something in your mouth. And if you get to near somebody you don't want to talk to, your mouth is busy. You can't be bothered. I'm just kidding. You should talk to everybody. Okay, so chew some gum. Brush your teeth or chew some gum. And obviously you want to have sugar-free gum. But the reason I say this, again, is to keep your mouth busy, so you're not just throwing stuff in there. When you have fresh breath, it's much easier to talk to people, but also it is a way to keep your mouth occupied without shoving food in there, and you're not gonna wanna ruin that fresh breath. So you're not just gonna be randomly throwing food in your mouth when you don't need to be. All right, my last tip here, there's a lot more to go with it. Start your day out with gratitude and things like that. Always, that's how we should start our day. Let's talk about a little sweet treat you can bring with you that takes a minute to prepare. It's super simple. We're gonna get our 1.5 cup of chocolate chips in there. I am using a dark chocolate chips. I'm using Hershey's Special Dark on this one. What I actually would recommend is using Lily's or using this Chalk Zero. They have no sugar. Unfortunately, I live out in the country and that is just not an option. You can't find it in our grocery store here. So this was the best option I could come up with. And then I'm using 3/4 cup of no sugar added Jif. Again, if you can find it fresh ground, use that one, but this is what is available in my area, so this is what I have to use. Unless I have to order it ahead of time on Amazon, which I do every day. I have stuff delivered on Amazon. I get my 50-pound bags of flour delivered, I get all my ingredients delivered, because the local grocery store is about 13 to 15 miles from my house, and it just doesn't have a whole lot. So unless I'm heading over to visit my daughter and go to the Publix over there or Harris Teeter, I am stuck with Food Lion, and although I love the grocery store and I'm appreciative of it, it doesn't have everything. All right, I'm gonna go microwave this for 1.5 minutes, and I'll be back to talk to you about it in a second. All right, so one of the things very important is that while it's warm, you put this peanut butter in, because you wanna get it all mixed up together. You don't need anything more than a spoon. Now you notice I did the 1.5 cup of chips and 1 tablespoon of all grass-fed butter. I use Kerrygold, my fave. That really just helps it melt into a nice smoothness. So it takes all those lumps out. And then we're gonna go ahead and incorporate the peanut butter. Now you could add vanilla extract to that. Again, for some reason I didn't have any. I've been baking like a maniac. I didn't have any to put in there, so we're just gonna leave it out. It's perfectly fine. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in our mold. I took a square brownie tin, lined it with some parchment paper, which will make your life a lot easier, because then you can just pull it out and cut it. Otherwise you're scratching up your pan, so do this part. It makes it a lot easier. You don't have to grease it or anything, you just leave it plain. All right, let's grab those chips. All right, so that's been about a minute. We'll see how we do here. We might have to put it on for another 30 seconds, but I suspect if we just mix it up, yeah, it's gonna melt. So you can just let it just gently stir it around, and the rest of that residual heat will melt that chocolate. That's the good part about using a glass bowl. And then now that the chocolate's all melted, we're gonna go ahead and incorporate that peanut butter in there. And I really encourage you to use a no sugar peanut butter. We're trying to keep this as healthy as possible so that we can have ourselves a treat that we don't have to feel guilty about. Good, good. And we'll switch out that spoon for the spatula so it doesn't scrape all the whole time. And then we just go ahead and mix. And that fat from the peanut butter mixed with the chocolate is gonna help it really thicken up quick. I'm the queen of quick desserts. I spent many years, I had a bakery and I did many years of pastry chef work. So I know you need an instant dessert, that's me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in. And if you have some great keto desserts or great carnivore desserts, you just hit me up. I'd love to hear what you got. I'm always about sharing. I have a new group where we share recipes, so I will link that down below. It is brand spanking new, so I think it only has like 2 followers right now. So if you want to get in on that, it's an open group, an open Facebook group, so it's not like a private group or anything. And it's just really to share our stories. And if you're new here, I've been doing like a ketovore probably for about 3 months now. I've lost about 20 pounds. I used to be a macros coach. I spent from perimenopause through postmenopause doing macros every day, plugging it in, almost every day, plugging it in and really keeping track of what I ate that way. I did a whole lot of veggies and a whole lot of protein, which is great. Unfortunately, I have neuropathy, and so I needed to get my inflammation down, which led me more towards carnivore, and yeah. All right, this is gonna go in the fridge, and I will send you a picture some pictures of what they look like. They're wonderful little fudge bites. You're gonna love them. So I encourage you to make it. so that you can take it with you when you go on your holiday. And if I was gonna go to somebody's house for Thanksgiving, I'm not a turkey lover. I would have a little bit maybe, but again, I would bring other food that I could share and have and not look like a jerk. So like I might bring a caprese salad. So I tend not to love the tomato part, but I love the fresh mozzarella with the fresh basil and a little drizzle of olive oil, maybe a little reduced balsamic. Love it, love it. You can bring your own food and not look like a weenie. You can bring a charcuterie board. It's got all the things that you can eat. So you can put in some ham, you can put in some salami, you can put in some olives, you can put in cheeses, and then you have no problem. We'll always have something to snack on and to eat without really going off the rails. If you, like I said before, if you feel like this is a day where you just want to have a free-for-all, then you do that and you don't feel guilty about it and you just get right back on track tomorrow. Do not go crazy trying to make up for it. You just really enjoy yourself. Spend the day really enjoying company, right? Really enjoying being with other people and really being grateful for all that we've been given. I feel like everybody has something to be grateful for. And in that line, I want you to know that I'm praying for each and every one of you. I just wish you all the blessings in the world. And it is my great pleasure to be here with you. If you have not subscribed yet, I really hope that you do. Just hit that little subscribe button and hit that little love button and all the places there. If you are watching this on Apple, it might be easier to watch it on YouTube so you can actually see the visual, or in Spotify. But anywhere that you find me, I really appreciate you being with me. And I have some wonderful guests coming up. So stick around for that. I think you're really gonna be happy with that. All right, my friends, wishing you lots of love and many blessings, and we'll catch up later.